What's going on, guys? Good morning. We're pumped to have you here. It's the Money Talk Show with Dane, where we talk about topics relating to money, specifically crypto and real estate here, entrepreneurship. So, if those are topics that are important to you, you're in the right place. We're doing our absolute best to be the bridge between entrepreneurship, real estate investing, and the crypto world because we believe that cryptocurrency is the chance of a lifetime over these next few years. Corey talks about it all the time. Crypto is an excellent way to create wealth, wealth creation, and real estate and other assets like that are the places for wealth preservation. So, once again, we're pumped to have you here. Corey, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, Crypto Millionaires with Corey Gear here, and I'm just truly blessed to be here on this journey with you and a bunch of our buddies who are entrepreneurs and real estate alike. We're also, meeting a lot of crypto people, a lot of millionaire crypto people who have created a lot of wealth through this asset class because they were in the right place, right time. When Hex launched, or maybe they were in the last market cycle in the bear market, and they were getting involved. And this is where we're at right now in the midst of a bloody bear market. The opportunity there couldn't be a better opportunity of a lifetime right now at this very time and place. And you're right. We could use this time in history to use crypto as a wealth creation tool. And then we can circle back to real estate after we basically exited out of the crypto space because they were, entering another bear market, and we could take that money and use real estate as wealth preservation. And I think that's an excellent way to pair these two asset classes together. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun to be here with you guys.
Absolutely. We've got a number of you guys tuning in this morning. Feel free to comment in the comments if you're here. Jen Hex is on. Appreciate you guys being in. Bird Dog's here. I'm going to go to lunch with Bird Dog tomorrow. Looking forward to that. So that'll
Oh,
be
cool.
fun. It's
He's
fun
in
to
Utah.
Yeah, yep. He's a local here in Utah. Doc Lover's on. What's up, Doc Lover? Pavka, cheers from the Czech Republic. Feed us with your information and or suggestions. Absolutely. Appreciate you being here. In fact, what time is it in the Czech Republic right now? I'm
Yeah, I
curious.
was
Post
thinking the
that in the
same thing.
comments. Yeah. So let's start off today. We had our bi-weekly call last night for our
Yeah.
mastermind group where we do crypto and real estate. There's a lot of really important finer points that we talk about in the mastermind that we don't talk about here. We talk about strategies and some of the hidden gems, the opportunities. We're going to give some of the general things right now. I'm going to post the banner, guys. So as we're talking about different topics today, if you want to check out our group, you want to talk to me or Corey about what the mastermind's like, finding a group of entrepreneurs or like-minded individuals. We have a little bit over 70 members now in the last year since we've created this. We are going to close the group, or we're going to shut it off come this summer, because Corey and I want to have time to ourselves. Corey and I are going to take the summer off since we have been very fortunate to create lifestyles where we can choose to do that. And so there is a
All
time
because of
clock.
crypto.
Only because of exactly. So there is a window here where if this is something that might be interesting to you, I would heavily recommend that you schedule a call soon so that if you wanted to jump in, you don't miss out on the boat. This is not a marketing tactic. We literally are going to turn off entry come a little bit later this year. So no pressure, but something to be aware of. So we were talking last night about opportunities in the crypto market, and specifically, we were talking about Hex. We are big advocates of Hex. We like Hex, but it's tricky because right now, Hex is ran. It's up, man. What is it? It's up about a 4x from its local bottom, and so the question is, and love your guys' comments or posting in the comments your opinions. What do you do right now? Do you put more money in Hex when it's done a 4x? Do you look at some of these other assets and potentially consider putting money there since they have not appreciated like Hex? There's a reasonable thought process to say, hey, there could be some other opportunities to DCA into other assets. Um, So Corey, what are your thoughts on that?
I think so if I had no hex, I think a DCA strategy is still appropriate right now, knowing that we probably could hit somewhere in the realms. And this is not financial advice. We're just two dudes on the internet having fun. That's it. This is all speculation. It could go somewhere in the 18-cent range, I think, when V3 launches, because what we've seen is we saw a benevolent actor shift the liquidity over from the lower range. What was it? I think it was in the range of like 2 cents all the way up to like 6 cents. I can't remember, but there was millions of dollars worth of hex, and it shifted up into the 18-cent to 24-cent range, or maybe it was 22-cent, but regardless, it was up there in that 20-cent range. And that's probably with some anticipation in my guess because of V2 launching soon. If I had to, put my money on anything. And so with that being said, following liquidity is always very important when you're making decisions on any crypto. You want to see where the liquidity is at, because that's typically what the whales think or price is going to move to. Price always tends to move where money is at. And that's why when there's no money in that range, it will move very quickly through it or quickly down to where the money's at. It goes one way or the other because price likes to follow money. And so if I had no hex, I feel like DCAing right now would be appropriate, knowing that you could get yourself a nice 2x if we're going to play some of the buy the rumor, sell the news. I feel comfortable and fine with that. But I definitely feel like there are other assets that are being ignored right now in the ecosystem that are amazing gems that are just because everyone's got the spotlight on Hex. It's the show. It's the main star of the show right now. It's up there dancing around and everyone's loving it because it's pumping. So everyone's FOMOing in, or doing a little bit of trading. We saw a guy last night, literally around 8 p.m. and he sold about $1 million worth of, and he did it on a 2x. Literally, he bought it around 4 cents and sold it 8 cents. So good for him. He made himself $500,000. That's awesome. I believe he could have held out for another double at least had he had held. But traders will be traders, and so. My point was, what was my point on that one? I got kind of on a tangent with the guy trading.
You talked about what.
Yeah, it's the main show, right? Hex is the shining object right now. Everyone's got their eyes on, right? Well, don't forget about all the other cryptos in the ecosystem that are amazing, man. The gems, the Hedron, the Icosa, the ASIC token, Pulse Bitcoin, these other coins that are just going to do what, in my opinion, on the Pulse chain side that right now I feel like have reached some kind of bottoming. If you look, Hedrons ran in the 502 range for the last, month, 2 months. Icosa hovered around that 50 to 60 cent range for a while. I feel like Icosa came down. It came down a touch to 50 cent. And then came back up, and I think we're at 64 cents today. So I feel like that the local bottom that could definitely be realistic. We're at 62 cents, so that could be realistic. That was the local bottom, and so I feel like people are they're ignoring these other gems that are truly undervalued right now. Icosa's value is not 62 cents. I guarantee you, it's probably more like around $2 or $3. It's just that no one's paying attention to it or giving it any love.
Yeah. And to your point, you can see here on the Icosa price chart. So this is, in fact, let's just go back to all time. Nomics is good for lots of things. It's not great to show chart data. All right. So you can see, come on, baby, work for us. We'll use this one. That's all right. So you can see, here's the chart since September of 2022, roughly speaking. You can see we've fallen, and generally speaking, to your point, Corey, you see a bottoming once there's kind of like some stability. We saw it in Hex.
Yes.
Once we got down to about the 3 cent range, it went from 3 cents, it went down to just a hair under 2, and then it took off. And potentially we may be seeing that with other assets in the HEX ecosystem, like ICOSA, where we've seen potentially ICOSA bottom in December.
That was your capitulation candle.
Yep. And then we've seen it kind of hang out in this, 50-ish to 60-ish cent range. It went up to, almost $1 here, but then we're back in this range. And this is oftentimes, now we're no charting experts, but this is oftentimes what you see as you're finding a bottom. And I think it's really important to consider, like, your friend Sami has been hammering this point home. If you haven't checked him out, credit to him. Go check out his YouTube content. It's excellent. But like, how long are you going to be bearish in the market? How long are you willing to stay out before you miss the ride? And even if, like, let's pull up Hex. I think this is an interesting example. So let's say that Hex, I've been patiently waiting. I've been hoping for a little bit of a pullback here.
We got a timeline because of the $1 million sale yesterday, but I don't know how long it's going to last.
Yeah, and you guys can see
to go.
So you had this whole time frame clear from June. We're here at about 4-ish cents. We ran a little bit here. We came back down to 4-ish cents in September. I mean, we've had from September.
I mean, that's a bottoming.
Clear till February to be picking up pretty insane pricing in this range.
I mean, and Dane, somewhere in there was the FTX crash. I'm not sure exactly where it was at, but the FTX somewhere in there. And I mean, you got to imagine how much liquidity and fear was in the market, how much liquidity left the market, and how much fear in the market at that time. And so, like, I don't know if Bitcoin has bottomed. I really don't. And we definitely gotten close to the bottom if we haven't bottomed. Maybe Richard Hart's right and we see 11K. I don't know, right? When he already hit 15.5. So, like, for me, man, for my risk versus reward assessment, like my portfolio, what I'm willing to handle, I'm willing to DCA in these levels, all these levels. I've been DCAing for months. And if you're not DCAing right now, then I really, because if you're wrong, if you're thinking, oh, we're going to bottom out at 11K and I'm waiting for that bottom, man, what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong and you do not want to be left behind?
And that's exactly it. Like, how long are you willing to be bearish in the market? Now, I understand we have about a year till the next Bitcoin halving and theoretically confirmation that we're really off to the races. But if you look at assets, especially newer things, back to the idea of like ICOSA or some of these other assets, the newer stuff, Hex, if I'm not mistaken, it did, 100, 200 X's before the Bitcoin halving. And so how long are you willing to be bearish and wait for this theoretical 10K, 15K Bitcoin double bottom potentially, and the rest of the market to go with it? And that's where, exactly like you're saying, Corey, I agree. I think it makes a lot of sense to be dollar cost averaging into these levels and keeping some dry powder on the sidelines. I think the stream with Jim at Crypto, he made an excellent point where he likes to always keep some dry powder on the sidelines. So in the event that you see a strong pullback, well, you'll have dry powder to be able to act on that. But man, you look at this price chart, we have not seen a significant pullback since the end of January. It's just been going up and up and up. Now we had a decent pullback here, but even this one, this isn't even a 50% pullback.
No,
this is only a 30-ish% pullback. We're back off to the races here. How long are you willing to wait? And that's where you've got to make a financial decision for yourself. We don't give any financial advice on this show. We just talk about what our thoughts and feelings are and what we're personally doing.
Right.
So it's interesting to consider another one. Let's look at the Hedron price chart.
Look at that, man. I feel like it's a local bottom.
Yeah. Let me date range is unavailable.
It just kind of hovers around that 5 zeros and a 2 range. It's been there for quite a while. You see a pump up there for a little bit, breaking through some resistance, but Man,
Yeah.
it just
So
loves
here's
that
launch.
volatility.
You see the
Yeah,
bottom fall out, and then you have the ICOSA announcement right about here. You see the pump, and then a drawdown, and now we're back to, I mean, we're not far away from these all-time lows, and you're seeing a bottoming, in my opinion. Not to say it couldn't pull back more, but the
for sure.
inflation in ICOSA and Hedron in these systems is going to slow down over the next couple of years. And
Correct.
as they slow down and you see Hex get some stability in price, there very well could be, and shout out, credit where credit is due. Axis Alive has been talking about this, where he's thinking there will be a rubber band effect where once we see some stability in Hex and people get kind of bored there absolutely could be some shuffling of that capital back to other assets that are linked to Hex via Hedron and ICOSA and potentially other places. And you could see a slingshot into some of these other assets. Now, we're not big advocates of trading here. If you want to go and recycle your money, be our guest, but that could be a recipe for disaster. So be really careful with that. However, people are going to do that, and you want to make sure that you're not left behind. And I think one of the narratives that a lot of people are frankly just very mistaken about is they say, you see it in Hex, they're like, what is 10 cents on our way to $10, or what is 20 cents on our way to $10? Well, I'll tell you, it's a double. And there's a big difference between $5 and $10 million,
Yeah,
or
I'd rather have
500,000 and
yeah,
$1 million. There's a big freaking difference there. And
100,000
so,
a million or a million to 2 million. I'll take the 2 million any day. And
yeah,
that just shows you that you got to be DCAing because you are going to miss that opportunity. Yeah, don't buy that narrative. The difference between 10 cents when you're on the way to the dollar. I'd rather pick some up at 5 cents.
yes, yes. And so like you've got to make a determination for yourself. We're seeing kind of something similar with ASIC and Pulse Bitcoin.
Oh, that bring that. It's been at that dollar. Oh, geez, what's going on with ASIC
Oh, we
today?
see a little pump
Oh,
today. That's interesting.
uh-oh. Oops. Well, we might have missed the bottom. I don't know.
Is this
But it's been
is this chart showing correctly? I don't think it's showing correctly.
yeah, well, you can see there though, Dane, there at the bottom around the 90 to dollar range. You see it kind of just sits there and it's at a bottom.
Yeah, I don't think Nomics is representing this. Doesn't on the other websites I'm looking at. This doesn't look accurate.
Let me
It,
see
it
if I pulled up
I'm
on
showing it about $1 right now.
which is yeah, it's where it's been at for freaking ever. Yeah, I'm at $1. Yep, I'm on TradingView, and it's been there, man, at $1 range since January 23rd, my birthday. So it's been there since my birthday in that dollar range area, and right now we're in March, guys. I mean, if that doesn't signify some kind of bottoming, I don't know what does.
Right.
So if you like this asset, we're not saying, hey, go out and buy this asset. I'm not. There's a lot of people who don't like this ecosystem. I personally like it. I like it. I like Pulse Bitcoin. I like the ecosystem. I like the idea that they're going to build a Pulse-like coin and they're trying to do this better, like, OG assets over on Pulse Chain. It's just a narrative to me, but I like it. It's fun. I'm participating. But there's other assets in our ecosystem that are like this that are just, they have kind of reached kind of, I feel like some kind of bottoming formation, and no one's paying attention to them because everyone's paying attention to Hex, which is great. You want to pay attention to Hex. It is the main show, right? It is the encore act, if you will. But let's not forget some of these other stuff that's out there that could do absolutely phenomenal on Pulse Chain.
Yep. And you can see same thing with Pulse Bitcoin. It's kind of found a bottoming roughly in the 80 to 90, 80
Yep.
cents to $1-ish range. Once again, this isn't reflecting the price accurately. It looks like it's still, I'm showing Pulse Bitcoin at about a little bit, a hair
$1.10.
over $1.10. So we've seen a little bit
I'm
of
at
a pump.
$1.10 on TradingView. Yep.
Yep. So, you've got to make a determination for the assets that you like. How
Yep.
long are you willing to be bearish and stay out of the market? I, I, as we move closer and closer to the Bitcoin halving, the likelihood and probabilities that we don't see lower lows only increases. that we do not see lower lows. And so you've got to make a determination for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's go to the comments. We got a number of people in today. Let's see.
Sure.
You guys can't take off until Hex hits $1. So to clarify, we will not be taking off. We will be here. I'm sure Corey and I will still be coming in, and we'll be doing our streams and stuff. But as far as our mastermind group is concerned, we're not going to take anybody new in the summer. That very well could be the time that Pulse Chain launches, all that type of stuff. If you want the strategies that we're specifically going to be using in our mastermind, we don't share the finer points outside of it, then, I'd recommend booking a call. You can use the link at the bottom here to book a call with us. No pressure. It's not for everybody. We're very selective about who we let in, but I can tell you in the group, we have multiple people that are worth millions of dollars. I would estimate that the group right now is, net worth is over $100 million amongst all the members in the group. There's a little over 70 members.
It's up there.
Yeah, it's up there, and it's an opportunity to get in now. I'm telling you guys, they talk about how your network is your net worth. I don't know a better way in order to build a network now than getting in, whether it be our group or, another one that you really believe in. But if you can get into a group that is leveraging the opportunities now to build for the future, then you naturally, all of the ships rise, right? And you have the network that you naturally need. So once again, no pressure. We're very selective, but if you want any of that information, feel free to schedule a call. And for you crypto guys that don't need help with crypto, it's a good fit for you too, because we're putting all of the right real estate operators in place now, so that when 2025 comes, there will be the opportunity to go to real estate if that's part of your plan to offset taxes and some of that stuff. We'll have the right operators in place, so it'll be a very seamless transition rather than you hoping that you can find somebody that's not going to run off with your money. That happens in real estate just like it does in crypto, and you want to make sure you're aligned with the right people.
We got scams too, man. And let's a little bit more on that. And guys, and we're talking about like you could park your money with operators and not have to lift a finger. You don't have to be out there hustling, busting, being the operator. You're gonna have vetted, real, just professional operators who pay a very high return. Some of these guys are like 20% cash on cash. That's what we see in crypto. I got one operator right now. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, doing this development project, and I'm getting 20% cash on cash on that project. Your friend that came on the other day, who's been joining the group. What's his name again, Dane? He's Clay. He pays real good. Cuthberto, he pays real good. We're gonna have Cuthberto back on the show, which is really gonna be good. So, guys, if you want to access to these guys, they're gonna be in our group. So, which is really cool.
Yep, absolutely. Cryptorama says they're still buying Hex till testnet is announced. This is an interesting one, Corey. So talk about what you think the Hex price action might do once we have V3.
I think 18 cents. Yeah. I really believe that because this where you follow the liquidity. You follow the liquidity because market makers try to drive price, and they're usually very successful at driving price from one direction or the other. And so I feel like we could see an 18-cent Hex at V3 right after testnet announced. Not I don't know if we'll see it leading up to testnet, but I feel like when testnet is announced, the FOMO is going to kick in so much in the whole community that we're just going to see some very big buys. And I feel like we could see it pump to 18 cents. And there on that chart, can you see that big giant brick of liquidity now?
Yeah. So for you guys that are watching, so the red line right here is where price is at currently. And then down to the right is price down. Up to the left is price up.
There then.
And so you can see this big giant bar. There was a bunch of liquidity put in right here at Hex just under 20 cents, 19.86 cents here.
And where did it begin there, Dane? A little under.
Say it again.
Not that. Yeah, that's all thin where it starts to build up there before the 19 cents.
Oh, right here.
No, go back to the big one.
Okay.
You're just on
Oh,
it.
right over here.
Yeah, right below it. Where did the start? Yeah, there.
Yeah. So we see it. So we see the liquidity picking up at about just below 18 cents. You see a big level at just under
Yeah.
20 cents, and then a lot of liquidity up at, 24, 25 cents. And so,
Interesting. So that is a big bar up there at the 24-cent range. Huh.
yeah, so these guys are trying to magnetize liquidity this direction, and you guys can see the liquidity is really thin in here where, there's some of this liquidity that's been cycled from down here. It's been moved up here. So each one of these bars represents, let's see, we've got what? Let me zoom in a little bit. See if we can get a better representation. I need to go to the other website to see. But like we've got millions of dollars in here, and then you can see it gets a lot more thin down in this direction once we move to 10 cents. 10 to 17 cents right now is really thin. And I think one of the mistakes a lot of people look at liquidity and say, well, once we get out here, then price will automatically go to 18 cents.
Typically,
Well,
no.
no, these guys that are providing liquidity, they're going to move the
Move it.
liquidity up, and so it's not going to automatically in a day just go to 18 cents. They're going to move the liquidity, but it points to the fact of where a lot of these guys think price is going, because you do not earn fees when you're providing liquidity if you're not in the price range. And so it's an opportunity to make fees or cash out without any slippage if you're providing liquidity above the range where the price currently sits. And you could swap here in the USDC pool. You'll swap HEX for USDC as it moves through your range where your liquidity is, and you earn fees as you go along.
Which is the
So,
responsible way to take profits, guys. This is my plan on taking profits in the future, is providing liquidity to the upper range. To that, for you does a couple things. You don't experience any slippage. You get some fees in the process, so you make a little bit more money in the process, and you're not harming the community by dumping on their heads and wrecking the chart.
right.
Like we see, like last night, we saw the chart wreck for a whole penny. I watched it drop a whole penny in a matter of like seconds when that $1 million buy came. I was like, or sell came in. I was like, oh my God, bro. Like, dude, just provide liquidity and do it responsibly.
Right, right. So once again, all finer points we talk about in the mastermind.
But
But
back to this point, I still think it's okay to buy Hex until testnet is allowed to. You're definitely gonna it's gonna pump into after testnet Cryptorama, in my opinion. This is just speculation. Man, the FOMO and hype is so built up, and there's so much like just energy in the community that you're good buying Hex in the testnet. In my opinion, that's not financial advice, obviously.
right, right. But be careful. I mean, we're gonna see a pullback at some point. You want to make sure that you're
Sure.
not the one buying, being the exit liquidity heading into V3 and pulse chain launch. That's where, your dollar cost averaging and you're potentially safer by doing so. Let me pull up. Where is she? All right. Let's go through some more of these comments. I want to show too. I don't know if you guys saw. In fact, Corey, will you take some of the comments? I want to pull up some more stuff here that I found on Twitter.
Yep. Where were we at with all right. Looking to move some gains out to real estate and to gold to spread out gains to other assets, giving a more balanced portfolio. Having set money targets where I do this and take out a set amount. Yeah, I thought Clover, that's a great idea. I would recommend, focus your economic energy where the opportunities at that given time. And so if you think like gold's going to bull run, obviously that would be the place you would want to put some money at. I know Randy Hilarski, he's a big advocate of precious metals, which is cool. I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot about them. I haven't done a lot of due diligence. I just feel like right now cryptocurrency is where the opportunity is at. There is no better opportunity than right now with us leading up to the Bitcoin halving, Pulse chain launching, with the bear market, everything going around the world news with the Fed raising the interest rates. wrecking the markets all in 2022, wrecking the markets here in 2023. Banks closing down. I mean, this last weekend with 3 banks going under, and then the Fed's got to figure out how they're going to print more money and at the same time raise interest rates and try to fight this. It's just going to be one hell of a year. And so just focus your economic energy where the opportunity is at, and then move it around. That's what our goal is. But I like the ideology that you got. So,
and imagine the position you could be in. So this is a fascinating concept. If you could go and get a have an operator that you could be a passive partner in and make 20% cash on cash a year. We only need, I mean, I know this is a larger amount, but we all think we'll do really well with the Richard Hardy ecosystem. You only need $1 million a year placed to make 200 grand passively in income, depending upon the project and the operator. But if it's 20% a year and that's the debt structure and that's how they're paying it out, I mean, you only need to place $1 million. You'll get a tax incentive, a tax break for doing that, and you could be making 200x a year. Like,
and for most of you guys, I know most of you guys aren't moving to Puerto Rico like me and Dane, so you're gonna need to figure out some strategies. Now there are other like you can get a CRUT. I know you've heard like Papa Boner talk about it. You've heard like RG3. They have like their thing that they do. It's similar, it's a CRUT where you can offset gains till later on, or push it out and pay yourself a salary by using a charitable remainder trust. But guys, if you want money, you'll cash out the ecosystem, this kind of bull run, and you're going to want to place it somewhere where you can offset some taxes. There is no better opportunity than real estate for that type of offsetting taxes, because you get you get depreciation, you get cost seg, and you get the cash flow while you're doing all this.
Right. And wealthy people, they either borrow against assets and they use debt to fund lifestyle, or they live off cash flow. That's what wealthy people do. And so, in my opinion, you should start. We've done it for years. But if you start thinking like a wealthy person, you tend to become one. And so, building a strategy where you can do things that will produce enough passive income where you can live a lifestyle that you're happy with. I mean, if you're somebody that's like 200 grand a year isn't going to be the lifestyle I want, well, maybe it's 10 million that you need to make in crypto and place that to be able to go make $1 million a year or a couple $1 million a year, and you could ball out. And once you have this foundation established, well, then any extra money you could feel very comfortable, and any additional capital when it's time, say like mid 2026 or 2027, when we feel like we're near the bottom again of the market, where you can have a lot of capital to come back into crypto to recycle in and not impact your lifestyle, not impact your cash flow, and put you in a very unique position where you could go in far heavier than maybe you could now. So keep in mind that you need to, in our opinion, we talk about this every show, but nailing down a strategy soon is a really good idea.
I love it. Love it. Core Investor, glad to see you guys. Yeah, glad to see you as always, my friend. Love your content. Love your videos. If you guys aren't following Core Investor, go follow him. He puts out some good music on the RH ecosystem. Doc Clover, by the giddy height /top of the bull run, I hope to have taken out what I have planned, then settle in for a bear market for a year or 18 months, and DCM a downside, the repeat bull for post 2026. Yeah, that's kind of the idea there, Doc Clover. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. Just placing that money now when we're coming out in 25, 26, using real estate as a wealth preservation strategy, parking it with good high-level operators who work with integrity, who pay well, and and then rinse and repeat cycle. Pavkog, Icosa staking and Watsa holding. Hopefully, few rents to be covered by in a future. Yes, I love Icosa staking and Watsa. Man, I looked at the Watsas. It was like 2 nights ago, man. I haven't looked at them in a while, and my mind was like, "Oh my god."
I wish I'd have bought more. Like looking back, that's one I wish I would have played stronger.
Me too. I mean, how do you know when you're in the moment?
Right.
But man, they're amazing, the Watsas. Francis Powell, hello all. How's it going? We are good, my friend. We are good. Doc Clover, to be honest, I have only seen I've only been seriously in crypto since 2017, playing around from 2016. I feel like this is incoming born, maybe the last opportunity to make outsized gains. You might be right about that. We don't know though, right? And so there is this narrative that's going around the industry right now that this is the last one because we're going to see regulation come in, and with regulation, you're going to see the mass adoption coming in. Well, if that's the case, if regulation comes in and allows big money to come and play and basically, kind of even out the cycles, how the stock markets are, well, then you're going to see the most massive bull run, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think you're going to see the most massive bull run you've ever seen in your life because you have that adoption of big money coming in because now they feel comfortable because regulation is here. I don't know. Or does that happen to cycle after? So it's hard to say, Doc Clover, but you could be right. You could be right.
And when you're looking at the Shemitah cycles, I mean, theoretically, that gives us this cycle and one more before things get real dicey.
Correct.
And so we may have, like Corey's saying, we may have a couple, we may have one more, it'll be really fascinating to see. But with the regulation and the idea of big money coming in, I was watching a stream on Dollar Cost Crypto's channel last night with Buck Fiat and Dylan, and I just think it's so bullish. They're building the tools, and you have other builders too in the ecosystem that are building the tools that the big sophisticated people need and want to be interested in an ecosystem like Pulse Chain. And they're building it now. And so the fact that you have regulation coming, you have tools in the Pulse Chain ecosystem that the big boys can come and play. I mean, right place, right time. I feel like that's being reaffirmed over and over and over again. And we couldn't be more excited for 2025. It's going to be insane.
I mean, we're so sure of it. We're picking up our families and moving to Puerto Rico. That's how sure of it we are. So, yeah, it's going to be super exciting. Crypto Compassion. Hey, what's up, my friend? I had a Zoom call with Crypto Compassion the other day, man. Good dude. Good dude, man. It was funny. A quick story. His cousin is a local wholesaler here in Arizona, and I knew the guy really well. So it was
that's cool.
Small world, man. Small world. Doc, I think post 2016 crypto bull runs will require more luck or speculation knowledge, just like the equity sector, to find those gems and give you outside likely gains. Sure. Yeah, that's more about like how we were talking about. In right now, I mean, even to find the 10,000 X's, you do have to find those gems anyways. I mean, even Shiba Inu in its own respective rights was a gem because people love meme coins. And meme coin, I will argue this, and it's going to be fun because we're having guys, B Roots coming on next week, talking, and I'm in the talks with him, and he's a meme coin king. Right. But I mean, meme coin has a utility. I don't care what people say, but people love dog coin and love like these other fun things or stories that a crypto would tell. Like it's a story that we're following. And so Shiba Inu was one of those gems that people found, and it did something crazy like a 200,000x or maybe even more. I don't know. B Roots will have the details on that. B Roots, that's where he created the beginning of his fortune, was out of Shiba Inu. And so it'll be fun. Red Squirrel. Oi, oi. Hey, Red Squirrel. I think we got Stu Man on tomorrow. We'll have to reach out to him and confirm again, make sure that we're all set up for that. But I do believe he's on tomorrow. Coco, don't you think that B3 causes buy the rumor? Yes, we do, Coco. And that's why we're saying be very careful at buying at these levels and understand that we probably are going to see a 2x these levels, what I think is speculation. But at that point, when V3 comes, it will continue to pump, I believe, Hex. But at some point, there's going to be probably a sell-off. And that's what Dane was talking about earlier. We could see price retrace. We don't know where to. What if it retraces all the way back down to 3 cents? I don't know. We don't know. But I really believe we will see a massive pullback after the V3 launch. And especially if there's like which I anticipate like a 3-month before mainnet. I anticipate Richard Hart out launching V3 and then like 2 weeks later going, hey, look, here's mainnet now. He's going to let the community be on V3. He wants to know if there's any bugs. He wants to make sure that we're got 100% flawless uptime. We all know he loves that saying. So why would he not want to do the same thing with a layer 1 blockchain? And so that time that we're waiting, well, the traders are going to get paper hands and they're going to let their bags go. And there will be some buy the rumor, sell the news. And I think we'll see it twice. We're going to see it at the V3 launch. And I could be wrong about this, guys, so don't go on and prepare a trading strategy around this. But this is what I'm going to do, right? And so, like, there's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news from 3. Then we'll see a sell-off. We might get another nice opportunity to DCA to some hex. And then I feel like when Pulse Chain is announced or leading up to the announcement, if Richard Hart starts giving some teasers or some hints, when Pulse Chain announces, it will see another. That'll be the massive. I think that'll be the biggest buy the rumor, sell the news event is when that happens. So yes, but do with your will with that information. We can't predict the future with this, and we don't know for sure. So
and I know it's a super boring strategy, but that's where your dollar cost averaging comes in, to be able to be wise about the markets and be patient. I understand that it's really easy to get wrapped in the FOMO, but patience, patience is a virtue.
Yep. Ruben, good morning. Good morning, my friend. We got 10 top. What up, Hatsakins? Sir. Yes, sir. There's no way to reach out to you if you don't follow back on Twitter. Follow back on Twitter, Dane. I think that's yours. I have my setting where you can DM me in Twitter without following me.
Oh, I'll change that. And I posted the link. So once again, you can use the link in the banner, or I posted the link in the comments where you can just copy that and schedule a call for us. You can find a time on our calendar. We'd love to connect. Once again, even if you decide you don't want to be part of the group, we'd love to connect. We'd love to hear your story.
We're always connecting.
Anything we can do to help, we're all about that.
And I'm not sure if Dane's going to be yet, but I'll be at the Hex conference too, guys. If you guys are coming out, if you want to connect there and just hang out and go out for coffees in the morning and lunch and dinners and just have a good time. It's going to be an awesome time. Back, we got our boy Frank on today. He's going to be out in Miami with us. Mindless meme coins, lottery tickets for some, pure unattached to the outcome. This is correct. But I feel like normal retail, it's easy for them to buy meme coins and understand it and feel like it's the next great thing. And we'll definitely have B-Roots kind of dive in this a little bit more, but there's something to be said about, like, I remember when I was doing blackjack at the casino and Dogecoin was the thing back in the day. And I remember all the blackjack dealers were buying Dogecoin. This was after already peaked too. So it was already, they were exit liquidity like normal, right? But there's something to be said that the normal retail of all those blackjack dealers were like, oh yeah, Dogecoin, it's this dog coin, it's the next best thing, it's gonna be the next Bitcoin. They could stand it easily just because of the meme behind it. And then they're like, oh, Elon Musk loves this thing, he's gonna send it to the moon, right? And so there's just, I don't know, because not normal retail doesn't want to dive into how T-shares work or how the auctions work over in the ICOSA, how the yield is generated and broken up with, it's very deep stuff. And normal retail typically doesn't want to follow that, listen to that. We do. We're geeks like that. We love crypto. And I feel like a lot of people come into crypto because they see a meme and want to follow a meme. That's their entry. That's their gateway drug into crypto. And then now they can kind of learn about what crypto is really about. Yes, Davis, what's going on, my friend? Frank. And Corey, understood you're coming to Budapest 2003 Hex meetup. Budapest.
You heading out to Budapest, Corey?
All right.
Hey, send some plane tickets. We'll be there.
Absolutely. Are you coming, Dane?
To Miami?
Yes.
I'm probably not. My kids are still in school then, and we're doing a
Yeah.
lot of traveling to the events and stuff that we're at. So, and then we'll be to Puerto Rico shortly after. I'm probably not going to be to this one.
Okay. Well, I'll be out there spreading the good word.
Absolutely. That'll be cool. And let me show you guys. So this is a big deal. This will be a good place to wrap up the show today. So look at this. This is pretty cool. So there's another exchange that's listing Hex here, which is really exciting. This appears to be a Japanese exchange, if I'm not mistaken. And the gates are coming down, man. I'm telling you, the gates are coming down. They're coming down a lot faster than I anticipated. I thought we'd have to see Pulse Chain launch before we started to see a lot of the movement on Hex that we're seeing right now. But we're seeing exchange listings. We're seeing influencers that are big influencers that have talked garbage about Hex the whole time, talking about it now. I mean, the energy is palpable. It is exciting. So pretty freaking cool, guys.
It is.
Awesome. Well, great show. Are there any other things you want to touch on before we close out today, Corey?
No, man, I think that's it. I know we got an appointment here at 10 o'clock, so we'll wrap it up here. Guys, reach out if you need anything. We're always here. Like I said, we got Stu tomorrow. I think we got another real estate guy on Friday, one of your buddies, right, Dane, on Friday. We have Pulse Domains coming on our show next week. We have Crispy Man coming on next week. And we have B Roots. Hopefully, I'm locking B Roots down. We should have them locked down coming on next week. You guys are not going to want to miss that one because we know how controversial he is in the community. But I'll tell you, he's the one that taught me, and I know this ideology is still controversial, that I could get more T shares by selling the Hex at the top and then buying back down in the bear market and then restaking from market cycles every single cycle. And he's the one that kind of really opened my eyes up to that. And I was like, wow, you're right. I can get like 10x the T shares by just playing what we know is going to happen around the Bitcoin halving. And he was kind of the guy that did that. So cool. But
guys.
Hong Kong, Japan change. Yeah, Hong Kong. That's what I thought too, Popka. Yeah, because the HK. Yeah, I was thinking maybe
thank you for correcting me on that.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Oh, and I updated my Twitter, so you can message me there. I don't have to follow in order to see your messages, so we're good there. Appreciate the tip for that. Thank you very much. And with that, we will see you guys tomorrow.
See you guys.